I made a mistake and closed it out, y'all.
If everything is left there, no, you're not going to be drinking it. It's just there because you got the clean water in the storage tank.
So those composites that are left in that top part, right?
Yeah.
They don't eventually, if you don't clean it, they won't go through the bad.
No, they don't go through that. They just collect on the bottom.
And get thick.
They get thick. And she was scraping.
Like arteries with bad cholesterol.
Exactly. This is what happened. She was scraping that and had all these chipped, just horrible looking stuff. And so I'm going, do I want that in my body? I don't think so. So that is why I drink the distilled water. You can see the difference there. So that is why I would drink the rainwater. If given the choice of rainwater and tap water, I definitely drink the rainwater because you see all that gook in the tap water, and it measured what, 170, and I have to tell you this, that it has measured more. So I've gone up to 300 in the tap water. Yes, indeed. So give me the 5 in the rainwater if I had the choice. Of course, I don't need that because distilled water is my choice, and that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Very well. And I'm in agreement with you 100%. I'm sticking with the distilled water. I don't know if I'm going to be drinking the rainwater, but listen, I'm going to say one thing, guys, before we go. We want to thank you for your support. And if you're just coming in and you don't have her DVDs or her books and you don't realize it already, I'm telling you, go to the website. Check out her DVDs and booklets. It's timeless information that everybody needs. If you're on Facebook and you're watching this, please go to YouTube.
I'm on AnnetteLarkins.com. We're going to watch this video.
She has found the fountain of youth.
News Channel 5's Tanya Rogers joins us now with this special report. Tanya?
Well, Jane, Janet, I have had several people ask me, how old is she? She is a grandmother, and she is eligible for a senior citizen discount. Her quest started because she wanted to feel healthy and have lots of energy, but she has reaped more benefits than she anticipated. And here we have some ginger. Annette Larkins shows off her garden in her Miami-Dade County backyard. It's full of fruits and vegetables. Every corner of her garden has something that is edible.
And I've been eating them, and they're so good.
She also collects rainwater to drink and water her plants. Annette says the food in her garden is her fountain of youth.
I'm very vibrant. I have lots of energy, as I told you before. I'm up at no later than 5:30 in the morning as a rule, and I'm ready to go.
Annette's husband owned a meat store in the 1960s. That's when she became a vegetarian. But as the years went by, she became a raw vegan. She does not eat any animal products. Her food is unprocessed and uncooked.
My diet consists of fruits, nuts, vegetables, and seeds. I do a lot of sprouting of seeds. And as you can see from my garden, of course, these are the raw foods that I eat.
Annette also juices fruits and veggies. You name it, she can juice it. Grapefruits, pineapples, even spinach. But not everyone in the Larkins family eats and drinks this way. Annette's husband of almost 54 years chose to continue to eat the way he did when they were first married.
I really wish I would have did what she done.
Amos Larkin says people even wonder if Annette is his wife.
They'll ask me, what am I doing with a young girl? Or they'll say, you got your granddaughter with you, and things like that,
Amos takes prescription medicines daily for high blood pressure and diabetes. Annette says she doesn't even take an aspirin. Because friends and strangers kept asking her questions about her health and youthful appearance, she decided to publish 2 Journey to Health booklets, and she produced a DVD 12 years ago.
Discovery Channel, they took sections of the booklet and translated them into Spanish, which, by the way, is my second language.
So how old is this size 4 beauty? Annette just turned 70 years old.
This one lady who is my age, she said, she was telling her friend that I used to tell them about eating, and they wouldn't listen. And her reply was to that, or her response to that was, look at her now and look at us.
She's an amazing person, though. Oh, man. I mean, really, she do everything. Build computers. Oh, she's make all her own clothes, grow her own food, speak 3 languages. It's amazing.
Now, Annette has been eating completely raw for 27 years. And we want to remind everyone, no matter how old you think she really looks, she changed her lifestyle to feel better and have a good quality of life. And her husband says, I wish I had done what she did. And I said, well, is it too late? He goes, yeah, it's too late for me.
She looks fantastic, but in this day and age, a lot of people asking you, has she had plastic surgery?
She hasn't. She said she hasn't had any plastic surgery. She said, but never say never. Because she said, maybe when I'm 80, I might change my mind. But she hasn't had any plastic surgery. And it's really neat because he says she's so beautiful. And he says when he wants to get help when he goes to like the grocery store or something, he says, Annette, you walk in front of me because you get all the attention and then I'll be able to ask the questions.
Works out in his favor there.
And her kids, her 2 boys are in their 50s, early 50s. Yeah.
How was the orange juice? I saw you tasting it.
It was very
Was it
good. And she literally drinks all that through like a week or 2 weeks. Yeah, it's amazing.
It's a full-time job, I'm sure,
It
prepping
is.
that food.
It is.
Tanya,
Great story, Tanya.
very enlightening and eye-opening. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I heard. I hate it, right? Hold on. Let's go, y'all.
Welcome you out to our store tonight. Tonight you're going to see something about your health, your wealth, and your future that is the most important thing to you, to your health there ever was, and it's the water you drink. Because you are 71% water, there's nothing more important to you than the water you drink in your life. Water is so important to our body that every organ in our body runs on water. We're lubricated with water, we're heated with water, we're cooled with water. When we get something in our eye, water comes there to wash it out. Water is so important. Water carries nutrients into our body. There's nothing more important to our health, our wealth, and our future than the water we drink. And tonight you're going to have a lot of questions as we do this show. And I'd like you to hold those questions to the end. And I probably will answer most of your questions as we go through this show. Now, throughout this show, we're going to see some things about water that you've probably never seen before. And I want you to think about it and make a decision in your own personal life what you're going to do about the water you're drinking, because that's your job tonight as we go through this show, is to decide what kind of water you're going to drink from now on. You're going to learn some things about water that you've never learned before. Now we're going to show you some water. This is tap water, and we're going to kind of like put this on a trial tonight, and we're going to prove that this water is absolutely filthy and unable to do the job that water was intended to do. This is distilled water. We're going to prove that it's pure water. It's absolutely pure. It's the water we should put in our body, and we'll be able to see the difference between these two waters real quick. The first test we're going to do with water is called the boil test. And what we do is we boil down a half a cup of distilled water in this pot over here. It's the only thing my wife lets me cook. And then we're going to boil down a half a cup of tap water in this pot over here. Now, if these waters are clean, when that water's all boiled out of those pots, the only thing that should be left in there is nothing, right? If the water's clean. We'll see which water's the cleanest. This is distilled, this is tap. We'll start that test because it takes a few minutes. But one question I have here, does water conduct electricity? If it's tap water, it's absolutely filthy. We know it does. If I touch these two wires together, that light goes on. That's an open circuit. If he's an electrician, he'd call it a normally open circuit. If I put it in distilled water, it does exactly what it's supposed to do, and that's nothing. Because those two wires aren't touching, that's an open circuit. It shouldn't light the light. But if I put it in tap water, it closes that gap. There's something in that water that's making that gap close. And the difference between these two waters is this is absolutely filthy water, this is pure water. Tap water started out as distilled water. In nature, we have lakes, rivers, and streams. The sun heats these vessels of water up and it vaporizes to the upper atmosphere, where it's cooled and condensed back into water. Whenever you take water and change it to vapor, and then back to water, just like this vapor's coming out of the pot here, that's distillation. Rainwater, though, falls through an absolutely filthy atmosphere. It's completely void of anything in it. It's distilled water. But everything in the air is gathered up by the distilled water and taken down to the earth. So you have emissions from factories, smog from cities, solvents from all kinds of chemicals, emissions from cars, trains, planes, and buses. All that is in the air. That's one reason the light is on in the tap water. Our tap water hits the ground. In 1 teaspoon of dirt, we have billions of bacterium, virus, and parasites. The reason we do it is because every animal and insect that's ever lived, reproduced, died, and decomposed has become part of the soil, and that's the food for them. When the rain carries them to a lake, a river, a spring, a stream, a well, it doesn't matter, and that water is full of everything that's in the soil. It comes to a lake, the fish live there, and they die there, and we drink that. We drink everything that's in the soil, every microorganism, everything that comes in contact with water, water absorbs and transports it. Our water comes to a treatment plant where we're chemically treating our water. That's why it's called a treatment plant. Our water is exposed to many chemicals. This is a newspaper from Utah called Capital Connections, news more about people in state government, the Utah State Seal. On the back of it, it says, making sure your water is safe. It's written about Eva Naminsky. She has a PhD in environmental engineering. She's over all 50 water treatment plants in the state of Utah. She says right here, we're learning about very resistant pathogens in water. They're very difficult to kill, so you need strong disinfectants. These chemicals may ultimately cause cancer over your lifetime. So the question becomes, would you rather have diarrhea today or cancer tomorrow? So who wants diarrhea and who wants cancer? Pretty good choice there, huh? That's the two choices we have, drinking tap water. I think that we should drink something else other than that. The cancer they're talking about is prostate cancer, bladder cancer, colon cancers. That's your urinary tract cancers, because that's where the water goes first, and we're exposed to all the chemicals that's in those waters. We know chlorine mixes with acids in water, and that causes trihalomethane compounds. That's linked to spontaneous miscarriages and various cancers. That's according to USA Today newspapers, Johns Hopkins University in New York.
And I want to say my take on it is Dick Gregory promotes spring water, but he lived in a period of his lifetime where he probably had cleaner water than we do. When you're drinking spring water, if it's really spring water, then, you know, they're polluting the atmosphere so much that you still not, they say, well, it has the minerals and nutrients we need. Okay, but it's going through all the pollution process, and it is untreated water. So you take that and put it with, what if there's some kind of pollution that gets in? Like they just had that chemical spill in Colorado on that river that everybody, it goes through a, what do you call them? Where the so-called Indians live, a reserve, and a lot of people were sporting on it, you know, in their water rafting. Yeah. Okay, so take that. And then it's a big chemical drop where you get your spring water from. Then that's the problem. They're not going to announce that to you. So, one moment. Man, y'all, it'll be at work just hoping that you'll get off soon. Well, I'll be getting off soon. Whoop, whoop. Anyway, I just said what I had to say about Distilled. You be the judge. Not trying to convince you.
And they're the ones that conducted those tests. When our water leaves the water treatment plant, it goes through the pipe system. Sometimes these pipe systems are hundreds of miles long and hundreds of years old. In Ogden, Utah, where we're shooting this, our pipes are 108 years old. They're cast iron with lead joints coming out of a canyon, out of a reservoir. It goes for hundreds of miles here in the city, back and forth to different houses, comes up into our tap, and we turn these taps on and drink out of our beautiful faucets and think nothing about the journey that water was on. And it's a long, filthy journey, because where that water's been is where we walk. So everything that's on the bottom of your shoe is in your water, if you ever think about it that way. That's why when we put the light in tap water, it conducts electricity. There's 80,000 chemicals in our water. In 1903, we had 3 people in 100 dying with cancer. In that 100 years till now, we've developed 80,000 commercially produced chemicals. And right now, 1 in 4 people die with cancer, and 1 in 3 people get cancer, and the cancer rate is still rising. You think about chemicals in our life. We wash our hair with chemicals, we brush our teeth with chemicals, we wash our clothes with chemicals, we have chemicals on our food. We're a chemical society. The only thing that takes that out of our body is the water we drink. Water absorbs and cleans everything out of our body as it goes through our system. Distilled water is way different. It doesn't conduct any electricity. We know it's absolutely pure water. The journey that distilled water takes is way different than tap water. We bring water in a boiling chamber to boil. The steam rises and leaves all the impurities behind in the boiling chamber. The steam forces the coil, the fan cools the coil, changes the steam into 99.9% pure water. Periodically, we drain this boiling chamber out. So when we make 50 gallons of water through the distillation process, what was in 50 gallons of water now is trapped in the boiling chamber. When we clean that out, we sometimes are totally amazed with the amount of filth that's in that boiling chamber. Like in Salt Lake City, that's what's in 50 gallons of Salt Lake City water after we clean the boiling chamber out. And people wonder why they're getting sick, why they have diseases. This is Ogden, Utah right here. That's 50 gallons of Ogden City water. Isn't that weird? How much filth is in tap water. You never would believe it unless you see it for yourself. Morgan, up where you work, this is about 80 gallons of Morgan City water. Does that look like one of the chemicals they add at the water treatment plant? It does, doesn't it? It's copper sulfate. Now, the reason that they put copper sulfate in the water up there is because they have algae growing in the pipelines, and copper sulfate is an algicide. Now, algae won't hurt us. Well, we can eat algae, but when it starts to die and rot in water, it smells. You've smelled the Great Salt Lake. When the algae starts to grow and rot, it's got quite an odor to it. Well, when it has that gas inside these pipelines, and they inject chlorine into it, it creates trihalomethane gas. Okay, and that's very carcinogenic. That's where we come up with prostate cancer, bladder cancer, colon cancer. This is, some lady told me the other day she only drinks spring water from North Ogden Spring. That's 30 gallons of the North Ogden Spring, and that's what's in spring water. Whenever you're drinking right out of the dirt, right out of the ground, you're drinking dirt. You're drinking filth. You're drinking everywhere you walk. Okay? You're drinking everything that's on the bottom of your shoe. It doesn't matter where that water's from. The filth is there. These inorganic minerals, it doesn't matter where that water's from. The filth is spring water from North Ogden Spring. That's 30 gallons of the
It's spring water now.
North Ogden Spring. And that's what's in spring water. Whenever you're drinking right out of the dirt, right out of the ground, you're drinking dirt. You're drinking filth. You're drinking everywhere you walk. Okay? You're drinking everything that's on the bottom of your shoe. It doesn't matter where that water's from. The filth is there. These inorganic minerals are what we're drinking. This is right out of a distiller. Does that look like it'd be nice for our inside of our body? Dr. Charles Mayo from the Mayo Clinic, he's got a clinic in Arizona, Minnesota. His quote here is, "Water hardness, or inorganic minerals in solution, is the underlying cause of many, if not all, diseases resulting from poisons in the intestinal tract. These hard minerals pass from the intestinal walls and get into the lymphatic system, which deliver all of its products to the blood, which in turn is distributed to all parts of the body. This is the cause of much human disease." Dr. Charles Mayo of the Mayo Clinic. In Dr. Bannock's book, The Choice is Clear, he says if you're concerned about arthritis, hardening of the arteries, kidney stones, gallstones, cataracts, glaucoma, loss of hearing, diabetes, obesity, and emphysema, do not drink the inorganic minerals found in water. He just talked about the inorganic minerals. We've talked about 80,000 different chemicals in our water. We've talked about the insects, the bacterium, the virus, the parasites.
Hold on, y'all. Yeah, man, but I mean, you do the choosing. This is just what I prefer. At first, I was going back and forth, and I was just like, okay, well, they say. Because I heard Dick Gregory say spring water, and I switched over completely, like right away. And then, like I said, I was doing a fast. On my fast, and they said use distilled water. Even when you're mixing stuff for your body, like I have one of those old school water bags, and they say if you're going to use that to clean the inside of your body, whether it be your colon or your uterus, you still want to use distilled water. It's good for cleansing. So if you're drinking this water and it's flushing every cell, it's the only water that doesn't damage your cells going in or coming out. So if you drink this water on a day-to-day basis, you're flushing your cell every time you consume this type of water. Now, as I stated, I am not trying to persuade you. This is just what I've decided to do. And this is recent, just as recent as this week. I went back to the store and I told my sister, I'm just going to buy distilled water because, like I said, my energy level is different when I'm drinking. When I'm feeling sluggish, if I drink distilled water for like a month, my energy levels go up. Even my kid, I can tell the difference. He drinks more of it than he does any other kind of water. So let's get back in.
Dead animals in our water. When I put a distiller in my home, the very first week, this is what we took out of our distiller. This was 6 people had drained the first week. And when I got shown this to people and shown it to my wife and kids, I says, look, there's actually an animal hair in here. See that animal hair right there? There's 6 animal hairs in this bottle of water. I called the water guy up and I says, how come there's hair in our water this week? And he says, well, I thought we took that all out. I says, well, what was it? He says, we couldn't tell. It's too badly decomposed. I says, well, why didn't you tell everybody was drinking a dead animal this week? And he says, oh, don't worry, we put more chlorine in your water. So, chlorine's 400,000 times more poisonous than DDT. It's linked to a lot of diseases, even cardiovascular disease, because it roughens up the artery walls and inside our blood stream, and it causes the inorganic minerals to start adhering to them because a rough spot makes it easier for things to stick. You may go around 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years, 70 years before you have any cardiovascular disease cause you any problems. But if the wrong blood vessel gets plugged off in your heart, they call that a heart attack, don't they? If the wrong one gets plugged off in your brain, they call that a stroke. If the inorganic minerals get into our body, in our joints, in our ears, because it's aging diseases that we don't have any cure for. Right here in the laboratory, let's take distilled water through the same journey the tap water's been on and make the light go on it. We'll have to add a lot of things to it. First thing we'll add to it is bacterium, virus, and parasites. I'll wash my hands in it. 5 parts per million will make this light go on. And we'll see just how dirty my hands are. Pretty clean hands, huh? The tap water's still hundreds of times filthier than the distilled water. But the real funny thing about it is, though.
Sorry.
You want to drink this water now, will you? Why not? Yeah, but it's still hundreds of times cleaner than tap water. Did you see what your eyes just did to your brain on? You saw something in your water. What do you really want in your water? Nothing. Me too. When I saw this the first time, that's when I decided. I didn't want anything in my water. I wanted clean water. But we can take it a little bit further and make the light go on. This is some of the inorganic minerals we get out of our distiller. We'll put some of that in there. We'll put some chemical from farms and factories in there. We'll stir that around. So it's starting to look like Mountain Dew, right? That's what you think. Then we'll take it to the water treatment plant where we'll add a little bit of technology to it. And we'll stir that around and we'll aerate it a little bit, just like even Minsky's talking about there. Add a little technology to the water. The right amount of chemicals we can make that awful looking water look just like tap water. Isn't that cool? Now let's see if we made it tap water. Yep. Now, according to Evan Minsky, that's safe water to drink. You don't want to drink it now? Why not? It's safe. What's the definition of safe water? Won't cause diarrhea today. Let's see what we've done here with the TDS meter. This TDS stands for total dissolved solids. That means anything that's totally dissolved into water will show up with a TDS meter. Now, Ron, I want you to read this for me and tell me what parts per million that says. 0. 0.000 parts per million. Now, tap water, right from this Ogden City here, let's see what that's saying. 296, 308, 308 parts per million. Now this water that Teresa would drink, let's see what that was. After I threw all that filth in there, 56, 40, 54, it's still, what, 6 times cleaner than tap water. Can you imagine how much filth is in tap water? If you could see where that tap water's been, with all the carcasses of the animals, the dead insects, the inorganic minerals, the chemicals that's in this water, if you could see what was in that water that's making 296 parts per million, you'd never drink it. You'd never ever drink it. And you shouldn't. We only have 56 parts per million. You saw everything I put in there. You wouldn't even drink it after washing your hands in there. We had 26 little girls in here one night, and they all washed their hands in here and still didn't get as dirty as tap water. Still didn't have as high a TDS rating as tap water. Let's check our pots out now over here and see what we've done. See how hot they are. Now this was tap water and this was distilled water. Is there a big difference there between the two waters? Quite a bit. That's just a half a cup of water. How many cups of water are we supposed to drink today? 8 cups. This is 8 cups boiled down. That's what you're drinking in your body every single day. 8 cups of water. That's 8 cups. That's 1 day. This is 30 days. This is 365 days. And this is 10 years. How old are you? 45. We've run 4.5 of those through your body. Okay? You can divide that out, every one of you. That's what your body has to deal with drinking tap water. Our bodies are wonderful machines, aren't they? They can handle a lot of filth. But after so many years of drinking filth into our body, it has an accumulation effect. And someday it's going to cause us some health problems. We had a brand new Lincoln Continental, and we opened up the hood and poured this down the oil spout of that car. What would the dealer say to us about the warranty on that engine? He says, boy, wouldn't he? And he should, but you know, our body's the same way. It says here that even the finest piece of machinery on earth depends on proper maintenance to run smoothly. And our body is the most amazing machine on the face of the earth. It's run on solar power. We eat carbohydrates, and they're produced by the sun from plants that we eat. And we reproduce, and when we get a cut, we heal. We have a pretty neat machine. Does your car fix itself when it breaks? It doesn't, does it? Our bodies are 71% water. There's nothing more important to our body than the water we drink. And if we're putting this much filth into our machine every single day, we're kind of voiding the warranty on our machine. We are, aren't we? How long do we get to stay in our machine? Till we wear it out, till we put enough filth in it and we wear it out. And then we can leave our machine. So there's nothing more important to us than our health, is there? We can have all the money we want. We can have all the time we want. We can squander all the money and time we want. But if we squander our health, all our time and our money would be spent trying to get our health back. And water is very important. You're 71 trillion cells, and every day billions of them die. And the only thing that gets that out of our body, the only thing that carries the dead cells and spent minerals and vitamins out of our body is the water we drink. Now, if I went back out and save the water, would you like to crawl into that bathtub and have a bath? Why not? The water is absolutely filthy, isn't it? Well, that's the same way with this water here. It was 296 parts per million, wasn't it? Do we expect that water to clean the inside of our body? That's what we're drinking water for. 3 days without water, we'll die. If our water's already absolutely filthy, it's like taking a bath in a bathtub that's already filthy. What do you want to drink? What do you want to bathe in? You want to bathe in clean water, don't you? You should bathe the inside of your body with clean water. 0 parts per million water is what we should be drinking. It carries the toxins out of our body. There's nothing more important to our body, our health, and our wealth, and our future than the water we drink. And if it's filthy water, it isn't going to do it. Out of all the waters you drink, what you want when you drink water is water that cleans your body. When we get water to this point, to the tap or distilled water, what we do is we drink it into our body, don't we? Let's see the difference between the two waters as they enter our body. This is tap water. We'll put 200 milliliters of tap water in this bottle, and this represents the filth that's in our body, some of the spent vitamins and minerals, and all the filth that we get rid of every time we urinate. We'll put the same amount of filth in this bottle as we do the other one, but we'll just show you this one first. 12 drops of filth in this body. We'll put the cap on. As this water goes through your body, goes up to your brain and through all of your organs around your body, you'll see something happening to this water. As that water goes through your body, what's happening there? There's an accumulation of filth in that water, isn't there? You see that? When you pedal this water out, does it leave something in your body? It does, doesn't it? It isn't able to absorb and transport and eliminate the waste. Now this is distilled water in this body. We'll put 200 milliliters of water in this body. We're going to have it contend with the same amount of filth. This isn't magic or anything. This just shows you how well distilled water deals with filth. As that water goes through your body and through all your organs and up through your brain, it's actually able to absorb and transport and eliminate all the waste that's in your body. When you pedal this water out, it carries the filth with it. There's a big difference between the two waters, isn't there, in your body? Distilled water is able to transport and eliminate the waste out of your body. Now, does anyone have any questions about water, about tap water, or anything about water?
About fluoride in the water. What can you tell us about that?
Okay. Like I said, y'all can go over and check this channel out. I have to go. It's about that time. Am I gonna link it? Probably not. Peace and power to everyone. I'm out of here.